So, David, what do you think about the election?
The election itself or the candidates?
Both.
As far as the election itself, it's just the same old thing that happens every time we elect a new president. Every time the people that are running, they talk about how there's going to be change, how things with the last one were so bad, and everybody buys it hook, line, and sinker depending on what their concept of how the political system operates is. Most people don't even grasp how the system operates. They just think about it as what they're going to pay in taxes uh, for their property, what's going to increase their minimum wage. They don't think about how the system and the way it operates and the bills that are passed and proposed and the abuses of power actually affect their lives on a smaller but grander scale. So they just look at the things that they think will benefit them. So they always buy into whatever their party politics are. There's a herd mentality where people join up in certain political parties because they share similar thoughts, or their friend is in that party, and or their family's in that party, or their father was in that party. They don't actually know what the issues on point are, or what the other candidates profess to believe, which 9 times out of 10, whatever they're saying, it's just bullcrap anyways. You can look at all the presidents all the way back to Kennedy and see that every time one of them gets into office, if you take what they said in their campaign and then you opposite that, that's exactly what's going to happen. As far as the candidates go, that's kind of a joke. We've got Bernie Sanders, who everybody is jumping on board with because they want to see the wealth divided among everybody. But for the most part, what I see at these protests, the people that are wanting the wealth divided are the people that are receiving the assistance. So it's, bottom up politics, which that's not going to make any sense, because dividing the wealth equally among everybody, that's basically a concept of socialism. America was not founded on socialism. And from what I understand about Bernie Sanders, the guy didn't have his first real job until he was 40 years old. And when I heard that speech where he said, white people don't know what it's like to be poor, that's the biggest crock I've ever heard. Come out to Martin County. I'll show you real white privilege. I'll show you white people that are poor and their families have always been poor because there's no economy out here. Any job that you're going to find, it's going to be minimum wage. And you're not going to get that job unless you know somebody that's at that job and they can get you in. Small town politics. But that's off subject. As far as Hillary Clinton, she should be in jail. She should be locked up right now. But apparently she's not. She's in the race. We've already got hard drives that have been erased of emails that the FBI wanted to read. Well, that shows intent. That's tampering with evidence, as far as I'm concerned, and that's a charge. Benghazi, should let those people die. Just let them die. And just try to cover it up. She should be in jail. That's treason. But this is one of your presidential candidates, right? America the Great. That's how far it's gone. People are so distracted with their devices, their social networking, putting their image up, being fake on the internet, that they don't even care anymore. This lady is supposed to be in prison according to our laws of this land. You go out and you screw up in the littlest way, courts are going to drag you down, cops are going to arrest you. But if you got enough power and political influence, apparently you can commit high treason against the United States of America and still run for president. Trump, I don't know. I really don't know. The whole thing about the walls serve two purposes. They keep things out and they keep things in. So kind of on the fence with that one, literally. I know he's a businessman. I know he's not a bought and paid for lobby sponsor because he has his own money. As far as his politics are concerned, yeah, I believe that we need to do something about the immigration. But what I think is that eventually they're just going to do away with the borders. They're just going to expand it out. It'll be a big super state like the European Union. I think that's inevitable. They're going to do it first in the name of free trade, just like they did in the European Union. It'll be some kind of union here. Probably be the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Don't know what's going to happen from this point on. I think that people are lost because if you ask somebody, a lot of the interviews that you see on YouTube, that you see on just basically any news network, when people are asked at these protests why they're protesting against a certain candidate, all they can say is, like, as far as Donald Trump is concerned, they say, oh, he's racist. Okay, well, if the man's racist, give me an example of his actual racism. Nobody can give any examples. But you can give plenty of examples of treason when it comes to Clinton. You can give plenty of examples of just being a moron when it comes to Bernie Sanders. I'd like to see, now, I always did like Ben Carson. Very smart individual. Sometimes it seemed like he was so intelligent that his words would get confused when he would try to speak. But I'd like to see him in some sort of advisory capacity on the actual cabinet with Trump. I think that will balance it out as far as party politics are concerned. But anyways, that's really all I have to say as far as the candidates and the election is concerned.
Well, it was great talking to you, Dave.
Well, it was great talking to you too, Brad.
All right, I'm gonna go edit this.
You got it.